I want to thank everyone for being here today. I hope you had a great work period back working at home in August, and glad everybody's back. And I first want to tell you we're going to consider very important legislation that extends vital programs that support our nation's public health. Patients in rural areas often face unique challenges with the healthcare system. This includes long travel times, increased wait lists, and shortage of specialized care. H.R. 2493, led by my good friend Mr. Carter of Georgia, would reauthorize the Rural Health Services Outreach and Rural Health Network development programs, which are aimed at increasing access to care in these areas. Additionally, patients across the country have benefited from increased access to telehealth services. H.R. 3419 would reauthorize the telehealth network and resource center programs. We also will be considering H.R. 1262, the Give Kids a Chance Act, led by Representative McCall, and H.R. 1843, increasing transparency in generic drug applications, led by Representative Dunn. The Kids Give a Chance Act of 2025 builds on current programs to accelerate research and drug development for rare pediatric diseases, including cancer. One important part of this legislation is the reauthorization of the Rare Pediatric Disease Priority Review Voucher, or PRV. This program provides a critical incentive for companies to develop treatments and cures. Since 2012, the program has proven successful, leading over 50 new treatment approvals for nearly 40 different rare pediatric diseases, many of which had no options prior. I'm very pleased we're finally providing certainty to this critical program and the patients that it benefits. In addition, we are considering H.R. 1843, which would increase access to generic drugs by eliminating bureaucratic hurdles and increase transparency during the drug approval process. Both of these bills were considered last Congress in a bipartisan fashion, and I look forward to that continued support today. We also will be considering the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act of 2025, which requires automakers to include AM radio, broadcast radio, as standard equipment in their vehicles. AM broadcast radio is an important component for vehicles, especially in rural areas, and is the most reliable medium for emergency alerts. And I want to thank Chairman Bilirakis, and I want to thank Ranking Member Pallone for their bipartisan efforts with this legislation, which is co-sponsored by 37 members of this committee and nearly 300 of our colleagues in the full House. I appreciate the hard work from members and staff on both sides of the aisle for their work on all these bipartisan bills. I will yield back.